The idea of attaching munitions to a canine in order to have the animal deliver the ordnance to a target in a location which would otherwise be dangerous to humans was originated by the Russians and Germans as early as 1930. In German, they are called Panzerabwehrhunde. Anti-tank dogs were documented as in use by the Russian, German, and United States governments as recently as 1994. Panzerabwehrhunde have been used by Iraqi insurgents as recently as 2005. The Ballad of the Anti-Tank Dog. I am 4 years old. I've had sex about half a dozen times, usually while tied up outside of the barracks. Once, when mortar fire rained down on the camp like fireflies following their friends down to the water, we were all corralled inside a single barrack with no tethers and no humans. I got laid that night, too. We're not supposed to, and it's hard to smell the girls sometimes with so many of us around. And I also have had my testicles removed and can't get off, but I still try. I hump until I'm tired, and then I get off her, and she looks back for a second, sniffs the air as if she cares to remember me, and then just walks off. She's not satisfied, I'm not satisfied, but we both feel that soon we will be dead, and that that's probably what our long since buried parents did. We don't do this for any purpose, this fucking, other than the few real chances we get when it's nice to be with our own. It is nice to feel one of your own. Most of my time, I'm with Eric. Eric is a huge tool of a human. I'm certain that if he has a mate somewhere, she has wandered. Sometimes I smell the other male humans on him, and I don't know what to feel about it. Eric has taught me one thing. If I want food, I can find it underneath the belly of these looming, cold, and wide beasts with no teeth and no neck to bite. I feel like fighting, but there's nothing to rip into. I just crawl into the bigger, colder creature for no discernible purpose, it seems, other than to get my ration. Sometimes when we're tied up around the barracks, we fight. Sometimes it's over the few girls, sometimes it's just for the fun. We don't ever hurt each other, but there's a certainty among us that if it came down to something as important as food, or the humans, or if we had our balls and the girls were worth something, we would kill. We don't, though. We just crawl under the cold beast. That's where the food is, it seems. I wear an outfit of sorts, not unlike the one Eric and the other humans wear. Ours are slightly encumbering, but I can only assume it's because we are not built the same way as the humans. Mine hangs on both sides with two large blocks of something thick and solid. Before Eric sends me to get my food, he always checks this little thing he has. It's like the thing they use to check the pictures on the windows they all gather around in the barracks that make sounds, and holds it close to each of my bags to see if everything's fitting all right, I guess. Sometimes the thing he has doesn't beep. He yells, "The composite charge isn't on the right frequency," and another little twerp runs up and gives me a new outfit. I always look around to see if any of the other dogs see this. It's embarrassing. You know, if I had my way, I probably wouldn't even wear clothes. And I'd definitely still have my testicles. Sometimes I see one of the girls I've banged, and her eyes meet mine in their shame. And she is also being dressed up for no reason. I know her name is Miss, because that's what she responds to when the humans say it. I don't have a way to say it, but I think it's beautiful. Sometimes when I hear her name, I sit down. It sounds a lot like the thing that Eric says when he wants me to sit, and I get confused. My name is Duke, which isn't as nice. It's especially annoying when Eric takes me out to do my business and yells, "Come on, Duke, poop!" Like I can with you watching me, Eric. Not to mention my name sounds so much like the word that you have for my most embarrassing function. Sometimes it sounds like you're saying, "Come on, Duke, Duke!" And I come running back and you call me a stupid dog. Guess what, Eric? Get your fucking facts straight. I don't even know what you want me to do. I don't even know why I'm here. I remember a box, and my mom, and other little dogs who didn't have to wear outfits. And then I remember it being dark and loud, and I couldn't move, and then I was here with you, you fucking tool of a human. I think what I hate the most about Eric is that he has all my food. I can't even go get my own somewhere else, because I'm always tied up to someone, or a building, or in a box. Not the kind of box my mom was in, where it was warm and open and safe and there were humans smiling. The box I'm kept in is cold and looming, like the beasts that I crawl under, and closed, and when the humans walk by, they all frown, and they have so little hair. Sometimes I think about that and I cry toward the moon, and the other dogs join in, and we sing our song, the Ballad of the Anti-Tank Dog. The loudest sound that the humans make swims through the air, and us dogs are up on our feet. before the human who's making the noise even has a time to react to it. It is loud, and it comes from one of the human's machines, and suddenly every human on the base is up and alert. There are explosions. Some are nearby. We are gathered in our barrack again by some human jerk. I see Miss, but she is already sniffing another dog, so I find one of her friends and get to work. This is the 7th time that I have had sex. This time is the worst time. I feel like she feels the same way. The sound is wrong. This blaring, screaming, death knell song that the humans are playing. One long, continuous howl which makes all other humans scatter and man their stations. It's absolutely ludicrous. And it makes it terrible. It makes it sad. I look around and there are several dogs who seem like they're not even trying to have sex, which is odd because it's all that I can think of right now. Suddenly, the girl underneath pulls away and starts to bark. She barks at the door, and several other dogs join in. For the first time, I notice in the cracks of light which run under the hastily put together walls of the wooden shack that our barracks are changing. The human machines are starting. This is most likely what the humans call a drill, so I start to bark too. Eric is here now, and he's dressing me up. This is my regular outfit. It looks, smells, and feels the same, but it is heavier. I remember 2 years ago when I first met Eric that the bags were very light and got heavier always as I got older, so this was not something I dwelled on. I was more focused on the fact that soon Eric would let me eat, and his perspiration and seemingly terrified nature was not something I concerned myself with. I was hungry. Him and one of his twerps checked the remote control against my little suit, and I was biting forward at nothing, like trying to fight a ghost because I wanted the food so bad. Then it beeped in the right way, and Eric, tired and terrified, led me out of the barracks. It was odd. There were flashes of white against the usual black of the night sky. All of the humans were scattering, fighting, and some of them dying. I was immediately also scared. Loud, and more loud, and more loud, and more loud, and more loud was what I heard. I tried to run, but Eric wasn't letting me move away from the cold, looming, and giant beasts that approached. I also secretly knew that he had food, and there hadn't been any food for days, and I really wanted some, and there wasn't any anywhere else to be found. So I was in a predicament, and I ran toward the creature. Eric cheered me on. And right before I met the monster, I heard my vest beep twice.